many recipes in salsas, sambas, chutneys, and chow-chows. To complement these beautiful grilled shrimp that are in their shells, boy, they grill so quickly. Less than 5 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah, 2 to 3 aside, I think.
Amazing.
And with the shells on, it helps keep them nice and juicy, and also I think the shells make them taste better.
And then sort of fun to sit there and peel the shrimp and dip them into a homemade salsa.
Well, I think salsas are great in their cousins' relishes and things like that because they're easy to make, they taste great, and they're healthy. This is a Mediterranean collection of flavors with peaches, red onion, basil, garlic, and a little red wine vinegar.
And then this one looks good too. Similar colors, but a different texture.
A Latin collection featuring mango, red peppers, red onions, cilantro, a little pineapple juice, and lime juice. Very quick and refreshing.
And now why don't you show us this corn avocado relish, which sounds perfect for late summer.
That's right.
When the corn is
coming in.
Right.
So to 3 ears of corn, this corn was on the cob, blanched for just a minute and cut off the cob. 3 avocados.
The pit's taken out and you've cut them up into squares.
Yeah, a large chunk.
I'll take that.
Okay. This is a 1/3 cup of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. With salsas, what we're trying to do is balance the sweet, hot, spicy. Tabasco, depending on your tolerance for heat, how many do you like?
Keep
8,
going.
9, 10, 11, 12.
12. We'll make it a
All right.
12 shot.
This is big tea, chopped garlic.
And this is?
Tablespoon of powdered cumin, a teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 cup of oregano. There's actually a lot of oregano used in Mexican
I love
cooking
oregano.
also. 1 red bell pepper.
Very finely minced.
1 red onion, and a 1/2 cup of lime juice. And I think lime juice or acid is essential in setting these off. Salt and pepper. And now comes the hard part.
Stirring it up.
Stirring it up.
And this looks really
But
delicious.
that's nice and moist.
So you can serve this on this grilled food, but if you were making a quesadilla too, these would be so great as toppings, wouldn't they?
Fry up some fresh tortillas and
chips,
use this as a dip.
Fantastic.
Let me peel you the shrimp, and we'll see if it works. But these shrimp are really super moist.
Oh boy, do these look good.
I think salsas are a great, easy way to add a lot of different new flavors.
And don't forget, a new book called
License to Grill.
Thank you so much for sharing these recipes and all the others during this program. I really enjoyed being with you today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Come again soon.
I'd like to.
You probably already have the pasta maker and the sausage maker for your KitchenAid mixer, but now there is a food processor attachment. And I have fitted it today with the dicing blade, and we're going to make a wonderful pineapple salsa. Now the pineapple, choose one that has a good, fragrant scent, and cut it up. There might be a little eye or two left that you have to remove, but you try to keep as much pineapple on the pineapple as possible. So just take off all the skin. You know what? If you don't want to throw that away, you can put it into your juicer for your morning juice. It's very good. Now, cut out the core of the pineapple. There are contraptions that cut out the core, but I find that it kind of wastes a lot of pineapple, so we're just going to do this manually. You can cut this into wedges like this, and then just cut the core out. It's a little tough for the salsa that we're trying to create. And then cut this in half again. So there, ready to dice. So this attachment is controlled by the regular mixer controls, and I have a strainer inside a bowl. This can go right down like that. Look at the nice dice that's coming through. Very exciting. And in just a matter of seconds, you have a diced pineapple. So here is the diced pineapple. That juice, oh my gosh, I can't wait to drink it. In fact, I think I have a glass right here. Now there's some nice healthy juice. A fine byproduct. Well, here's our salsa, the makings of salsa. The zest of 1 lime. The juice of the lime. I love the taste of pineapple and lime together. It's so good. And we have some very, very finely chopped jalapeno pepper. We've taken the seeds out and the ribs of the pepper, 2 tablespoons of finely minced red onion, and oh, like 2 tablespoons of your best honey. You can tear up some mint leaves. Use fresh, crispy mint. Beautiful. Into the salsa. And you're ready to either spoon this over some broiled fish, beautiful addition to that halibut, or a bowl of this served with your own homemade chips. Make them salty. They taste really good with the sweetness of the pineapple. And there you have it. Very easy to make salsa, no matter how you choose to serve it. Our next sauce is the perfect accompaniment to grilled meats, poultry, seafood, or even vegetables. The Italian Salsa Verde is a rustic sauce with big, bold flavors. Parsley and lemon zest add brightness, while anchovies, garlic, and onion add a savory punch. It's a cinch to make and adds great flavor to any meal. 3/4 cup of olive oil, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I love mustard in sauces. 4 anchovy fillets chopped. Chop them up quite fine. Oh, and 2 tablespoons of small capers that are preserved in a brine. If they're too salty, rinse them a little bit. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 cup of shallots. And the shallots have been soaking in a white wine vinegar, just to mellow the flavor a little bit. And you can put about 1 tablespoon of the vinegar in your sauce. Some tarragon, about 1/4 cup, finely chopped. And just use the leaves, don't use the stems. And then, on top of all of that, 2 cups, or 2.5 cups, of finely chopped parsley. This is certainly green, certainly verde. And, very important, some zest of lemon, just the yellow part of the skin. And if you use a rasp like this, very easy to remove the bright yellow and add that flavor of lemon to the salsa verde. Flat-leafed Italian parsley is really the best, but if you don't have that, you can use curly parsley for this large amount of chopped green. There. Stir that up. It can sit for an hour or 2 outside of the refrigerator. If you're going to keep it longer than that, I would cover it and put it in the refrigerator. And this is what we all love and call salsa verde. Serve this atop or alongside some grilled fish. This is a delicious piece of salmon. And that is one of the easiest and most delectable sauces you will ever taste. I love sauce with this much flavor.
I'm with the creative chef and owner, Josefina Howard, who started this restaurant approximately 10 years ago. And I've been coming here on a regular basis to partake of her especially delicious creative regional cuisines of Mexico. And I'd like to come around behind the counter here and see what you're doing for us today.
Come on over and
Thanks.
we'll see what we can do over here.
Every meal I've ever had at Rosa Mexicano has started with the famous guacamole. And Josefina's going to show us how to make this famous guacamole.
It's very simple, and it's done the way it's been done like 3,000 years ago, and that's why I keep it that way. This is called a molcajete, and it's been used, as I say, for 3,000 or 4,000 years.
In Mexico,
And, yes,
made out
indeed.
of lava rock.
And not only in Mexico, they used it in Italy too, and all over the world they have things to grind things with, okay? And the way we do it over here is very, very simple. We don't do anything but indigenous, original American ingredients. What might be a little brought from Europe might be the onions, but
Okay.
you can even eliminate that. But in order to make it very, very well, we start with a little bit of the chopped jalapenos, which could be also chopped serranos, okay?
But this is a jalapeno pepper. Josefina chops up the seeds and puts the seeds in.
Yeah. Then you put some coriander.
Coriander, sometimes known as cilantro. It's
Okay.
a fresh green herb.
Then I put some salt, because what I do with the salt against the back of this lava roughness is press it so that the salt helps make a paste, because it helps grind one rough thing against the other, okay?
When you eat at Rosa Mexicano, you watch the waiters prepare this dish at your table. And it's really a little bit of theater, and your mouth starts watering the minute they start doing what's happening right here.
So after you mash it a lot so where it's juicy, then it's when you take, and you can help me with this, I'll do one and then you do the other, where you open the avocado like this.
Now pay attention, because this is a real easy way to cut an avocado.
And then you twist it this way, and here it is, very beautiful, okay? And then in order to take the pit, so you don't touch anything with your hands, you go like that, and out comes the pit.
See,
and you put it
I
away.
like this method very
Okay.
much.
Now you cut it up in little squares, because guacamole should not really be mushy. If you take avocados and put them in a blender, you can make many other dishes. You can use lemon, you can use garlic, you can use whatever people like. But this is the original way. So now that you have the avocado in there, you stir it all up so that you get some of those juices that we mashed before. The avocado is all mixed with the cilantro and the chile and the salt. Now you can put some onions. You use nothing but white onions, because the yellow onions are too sweet. So you stir that up a little. Okay, now I'll give you another interesting tip of why this avocado is never mushy. And this is the way the tomatoes are cut. Take all the inside out. So all you have now is the complete wall of the tomato, and now you cut it in little squares, and that way it won't be mush.
Great.
We use the best tomatoes available in the market. Okay, see how they are? That is the most important part of a guacamole, so it won't get mushy. Remember, chop properly. So 2 spoons of that. Now, if you like it hotter,
We do.
you use more.
I've grown to like it
chile.
hotter. You know, when I first started coming here 10 years ago, I would get just a little tiny spoonful, and I didn't really even like cilantro. Now I want,
okay.
I can eat cilantro by itself. I
Well,
love it
you
so
know, when
much.
you go to Mexico, one of the smells of the city of Mexico is cilantro. It's wonderful. And then you put the cilantro. And then I like it salty, because you're going to eat it with tortillas which have no salt. Okay? And then you stir them all up again. And when you stir things up, it doesn't matter if they get a little mashed.
But you
the
can
idea
still
is that
see,
it's chunky.
right? You
okay?
still see the chunks of avocado and tomato and onion, and it isn't that ubiquitous mush that you get in so many restaurants.
And over here, well, I have 2 things to show you that are a lot of fun. If you're having a party, okay, you have saved the shells, and you fill them up with the guacamole, and then you have chips, and then you put the chips in.
Do you
the
make your
side.
own chips here?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Which are corn tortillas cooked in oil. What kind of oil do you use?
We use vegetable oil. So this is what you serve at a
Oh,
party.
that's great. So per person, they can have a avocado.
One for each, okay?
Great.
At the party, if they want to, that's up to you. And then the other best way to eat guacamole is with a fresh made tortilla. We just made them. They're hot. The guacamole is cold, room temperature, and you put very little. If you want to make, this is a taco, an absolute taco, nothing else but. And then you wrap it around, and then you can have a taco of guacamole.
This is amazing. I'm going to taste. Now, one thing is missing. Your pink margaritas.
Oh, well, this
with
is,
salt.
It's a little early for pink margaritas today.
Really good.
Okay, and while
Really
you're
good.
at it, I'll give you another very good tip. One of the most famous, the #1 salsa, which they have in every table at all times, is like a condiment. And the reason why I wanted to show it to you now is because it has exactly the same ingredients that the guacamole has, but without the avocado. So she has the chile and the onion and the coriander, all to taste, of course, and the tomato and some salt. and then you stir it all up, and then you put a little water to give it moisture. And as I say,
wondered where all the juice came from because the tomatoes are
always
so dry.
a little water. And by the way, this is something that keeps well for the next day. It sort of ages very beautifully. It blends all the flavors together.
Not out of a bottle, people.
No, never. And let me give it to try it and make you a taco out of it, even though it's for meat and fish and whatever you're serving, but it also can be eaten in a tortilla and make a taco out of it. And very healthy food,
Oh, boy.
okay? As you see,
I could eat this whole bowl.
as you see, no cream, no cheese, no butter.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing these secrets with us and these methods, because now I'm going home and making my salsa tonight.
Well, thanks a lot, because I would like people to know that you can make all these things at home because everything is available.
Thank you so much. Well, we're back with Los Angeles chef and cookbook author Suzanne Goen, and she's going to show us how to make a delicious Meyer lemon green olive salsa to serve over grilled halibut, which is cooking nicely on the stovetop grill. If you don't have a place to put a wood-fired grill, it's so easy to grill all winter long right on the stovetop with this fabulous cast iron griddle. It's really a great thing. So the salsa, it interests me because it's olive.
Yeah, I tried for the book to do recipes for cooks at home, so you wouldn't have to make veal stock. You don't have anything kind of complicated. So I do a lot of sort of salsas and relishes and kind of fresh things. So here I have shallots and that are marinating a little salt and a little champagne vinegar, and then we're going to do the olives.
No, so these are Luke
Those
olives.
are Luke olives, yes, the little namesake of the restaurant.
And they're a green olive similar to the picholine.
Yes, they're sort of a little more elongated than the picholine. You could also use any green olive would be nice. You could use a Bella di Cerignola, the Italian ones. And then this is a Meyer lemon. Meyer lemon, you know, is a thinner skin.
Oh, yeah, somebody in the audience just asked, and Joey was
chanting
what Meyer lemons. They are fantastic, and you should get them right now because they're in the market.
Yeah, they're just starting right now, and they'll be in through the winter. They have a thinner skin and less acidic and a little bit sweeter. So the nice thing is you can eat the whole thing. So you can do like thin slices and toss it into a salad, or in this case, I just I kind of dice them up. For this relish.
I've added 2 tablespoons of parsley to the olives, salt, pepper, and a teaspoon of honey.
Teaspoon of honey, yeah.
Yep.
Just a little
nice
sweetness
with
is
nice with the olives.
Yes.
The sourness of
Add
the olive.
that in. I'll give you a spoon.
Okay.
You want to stir in some of these?
Sure.
And then over here I have some sliced fennel. Just sliced it a few minutes ago and then just tossed it with lemon juice, olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I think fennel is one of those things people don't think of using. You know, it's used a lot in Italian cooking, but I think Americans, sometimes we don't think of it, and it's so just crunchy and fresh and refreshing. So I have that there, and then I'm going to add a little arugula.
This is a beautiful salsa.
Yeah, it's
now, should this stand, or is it ready to eat?
No, it's ready. It's ready to use.
Okay.
You can maybe put a little bit more olive oil.
Okay.
And then we're going to put all different kinds of herbs, because I love fresh herbs, and I think when you get like that little bite of different flavors.
So chives, tarragon, basil,
mint, basil. Parsley.
Yeah.
I use chervil if we have it.
See if we think alike. See, chervil. We said it at the same time, unplanned.
I think, but another thing is, like, if you don't have chervil, that's fine. But you have opal basil or something else, just feel free to kind of mix it up.
Oh, that tastes delicious.
I'm going to reach across you here. You want to do a little pepper in here?
I put some pepper.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then we'll do a little more. I'm sneaking around you.
Oh, that salsa
lemon.
is great.
This is one of those things you just eat. It makes you feel good.
What's your favorite fish?
Favorite fish is maybe black cod.
Oh, I love it too.
I love black cod. But I love halibut too.
So in New York, we had a Sunday supper place called Campagna. He did the no menu kind of thing. But this is all very different, fresh food, very simple.
I change the menu. I mean, the menu's different every week. I go to the market. We call it a farmer's market. You call it a green market.
Right.
But go to the market on Wednesday, and that's basically how I decide what to cook.
For Sunday?
For Sunday, yeah. And then, you want to put that right on top?
Right on top. Yum.
And then, do you want to do the salsa? You want me to do the salsa?
You can do the salsa.
Okay. And then just a little salsa over the top. Now, this would also be great on chicken, the salsa, or I like to put it also on, like if I make a little antipasto, like sliced prosciutto and maybe a little cheese or something, and you can kind of spoon that over. Sort of unusual, but works really well. Or even like on sandwiches, if you're making a sandwich and you want to put a little relish on there.
Oh, you have to make another one for you.
Yes.
That is a beautiful thing. What a wonderful, fresh, and good all year round salad with halibut with salsa. It is fantastic.
Today we're going to make beef enchiladas, and First, I think we need a salsa ranchera. And that is going to be made with tomatoes.
Yeah.
So if you can help me put those tomatoes, well, I tell them that these tomatoes have been roasted and peeled. They need to be slowly roasted.
Okay.
They cannot be just blackened.
So
Because you
roasting
want,
either on a griddle like this or in the broiler. Can you
or
do it? Yeah.
under the broiler, yes.
Yeah.
And you need 20 minutes to the tomato to get soft, cooked through, and blackened. You don't want a lot of the black because you want a clean red sauce, but you really do that. So we're gonna, now that we have these tomatoes here, we're gonna
So I'll show you these as we go along during this segment, just so you can see how they really have to get.
They go. We're gonna put 1 serrano pepper in the blender, or 2. And the spice here again, as in everything in Mexican food, is got to be done
And 2
little by
garlic
little.
cloves.
And 2 garlic cloves, which you're gonna break up just a little bit. We're going to pour in this tomatoes in here.
So there's about, what, 10 tomatoes? Or
There's about,
a dozen?
I think, yes. And it is 2
3
pounds.
pounds or
3
3
pounds
pounds,
of
it says,
tomatoes.
yeah,
All right?
roasted, peeled
Yes.
tomatoes. So you're
Roasted,
taking
peeled.
okay, and
There
the
you
seeds
go.
are in the tomatoes. You didn't take the seeds out.
No, no seeds out, just the skins. You roast and peel. It's actually in the recipe, but now there's a reason why I put the garlic and the chili first. Is you don't want to overblend the sauce, so you put the garlic and the chili first. So the first
Okay.
is going to grab. All right, there you go. You blend this all into smooth. That's plenty. Also, when we say blend until smooth, you don't want this to be super smooth. You don't want to blend all the seeds.
Right.
Then your sauces become pasty.
Okay.
And you don't really want that. You have the onion that is, it calls in the recipe, and a little bit of oil, and it's all cooking here. And we're going to, you see how when we say cook until translucent is
So what
exactly
kind of
that.
oil do you use?
This is vegetable oil. Plain vegetable oil. It can be canola, safflower, sunflower oil, or a mix. One thing Mexicans never really grabbed was the flavor for full-bodied extra virgin olive oil in our sauces. We use it for other things, but not like to cook with.
Now, this is a
Still you
cinnamon
can.
stick.
Now we're going to put in there a little piece of cinnamon stick, but it's Mexican cinnamon.
Oh, it's
and we're-
all beautiful and falling apart and so fragrant.
Right, and very fragrant. And we're going to tie that up and drop it in while this cooks and boils. I'm going to put a little bit of salt.
Now you're tying it up because you don't want those big pieces of cinnamon stick.
Well,
It's sort of woody.
exactly. If you want to pick them up, that's fine. If you don't have the cheesecloth,
Okay.
it's totally fine. And we're going to put a little bit of sugar, just because it's the beginning of May. Our tomatoes are not quite there yet, so a little sugar helps to bring the sweetness of the tomatoes out.
And you simmer that for how long?
And we're going to simmer this for actually about like 25 to 30 minutes. And there again, we're going to have one ready so you can see the right consistency
Okay.
of it. Because for us, when we say thicken, doesn't necessarily mean that the sauces are pasty.
Right.
They're going to cover up the enchiladas, so it's very important for us to do that. So that was the sauce. And now we're going to go to the filling, which is made with chopped beef.
And cut beef, but not chopped like fine.
Right, it's kind of like roughly cut, is maybe 1/4-inch pieces. And for that, we have some oil heating up here. All right.
Oh, wait, can I just show how the tomatoes are starting to sizzle? This is so much fun to do. They're just starting to soften. I love this, Roberto. These are great. And they're
That's
getting,
beautiful.
yeah, see, they're starting to get black.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But not like right away. You see, when
No.
you get it too hot, you're cooking them like right away. You need to slowly get them going so they cook.
Are they going to split?
And some of them are.
Yeah.
And they're going to make a little bit of a mess in your pan, and a lot of juices are going to come out, and it's all good.
Okay.
You know, it's all good. We have a very hot sizzling pan here. We're going to put the beef in here. Okay.
So how much beef is that?
This was 1.5 pounds of beef.
But
we
beef
used
tenderloin,
the
huh?
head of the tenderloin, so it's not as
smells so good.
expensive. And that gets 1 small white onion chopped. Very little garlic, not too much garlic. That's, again, differences with Mexican food and other cuisines. You know, for example, in this sauce, it's the ingredients are the same as in a Spanish sauce or as in a French sauce. It's just the process was so
slightly
different,
different,
that
right.
that then makes it taste like a Mexican tomato sauce.
Right. And it looks like a Mexican tomato sauce. a paler color.
Right,
Yeah.
and smoother
Yes.
in the consistency. And that's got, because some people also tells me, like, why peel the tomato? And I think why peel the tomato is an important aspect. You're going to see the final sauce. It's going to be translucent and more elegant and smoother than if you would have done it with the peels.
If it's done well enough, we can add all the
beef
flavors, right?
has cooked like maybe 8 to 10 minutes.
Oh.
We're going to add, we couldn't leave this alone. I mean, that's good enough right now, but raisins,
And blanched
Almonds.
slivered almonds.
a little bit of
Oh,
oregano.
yum.
You always crush a little bit the oregano, all right?
Oh.
This is a little bit of juice of our pickled jalapenos. The recipe for pickling jalapenos, it's on the website,
On our web, marthastewart.com. Yeah.
marthastewart.com.
Yes.
Little bit of just the vinegar.
What a wonderful pickle this is, too. You're going to love it. What's
A little
that?
bit of salt.
Pepper? Okay.
And cilantro.
Oh, your favorite.
And half a cup
Aha.
of the sauce we just made.
Oh, beautiful.
There you go. That's going to grab it all and make a fantastic, almost like a picadillo.
Yeah, it's really great.
All
And
right?
just let those raisins plump, right?
Just let those raisins heat up and the almonds and all the flavors come together, and we can ensemble the enchiladas.
Okay.
For ensembling enchiladas, if you made your own fresh corn tortillas, you don't need to pass them through the oil. But these are store-bought tortillas, so we need to soften them up a little
corn,
bit.
right.
So we have them in a pan, and we're going to pass them through the hot oil. You don't even have to leave them out.
Okay, so
Just
one side and
15 seconds maybe on one side, 15 seconds on the other one. All right? And that's all we're going to do. You do 2, I do 2, and we've got our enchiladas.
uh-huh.
All right?
So why oil? Oh, you want them moist, but you don't
You want them moist, and you don't want them to soak up all the sauce, and you're eating then, by the end of your enchilada, you're eating a dry dish. So a little bit of coating of the oil is going to make them really nice and moist, is going to impede the sauce to be soaked up by the tortilla.
Okay.
We got them all dried out. All right? We're going to grab a plate. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. Like in the book, the photograph is stacked. So you can stack your enchilada. And I'm going to roll my next enchilada. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the stuffing that you need. All right? So let's say that's a little bit it. Maybe a little bit more. It's a stack. All right? And I'm going to do this. Get my other tortilla on my plate. And
next to it. Okay.
you're
mine
gonna,
stacked? Oh, mine's
no,
stacked.
You are stacking, and
Okay.
I am
Rolling.
rolling. All right? All right, so I'm going to do this.
Do I get more? Or mine's filled.
Yours
it.
is, yeah, maybe we should have put a little bit more. How about that?
No, it's fine.
Okay?
fine.
And then we're going to cover them with the sauce.
Oh, yum.
So we're going to make it this sauce here. All right? Maybe a little bit more. And
Look at
I'm
that.
going to get a little bit of that. But this doesn't stop here. You know, Mexicans always have
No,
to
we
have,
have more
a
delicious
beautiful
things.
contrast of colors and consistency. So now you have beef inside, the tomato sauce around, and we're going to garnish yours first with a little bit of red cabbage, okay? You put, as the sauce is not very spicy, or you at least try to control the spiciness, you're going to put 1 pickled jalapeno, whole. So it's not spicy, just if you
Look how
want
good
to,
this looks.
you cut into it and you get it.
And some
A
cilantro.
little bit of the cilantro. And if you want,
What a color.
you can sprinkle a couple of raisins as well, just to break up and make
Yeah.
it really, really festive. How's that?
I would say acceptable. That is really beautiful.
Quite
And then this
acceptable.
too, how
And
gorgeous.
then we're going to garnish this one too. This is a little smaller. A bit of cilantro. Boom, boom, boom. And a couple of raisins.
Yum.
And we got a beautiful enchilada.
Rolled or stacked, you're in for a treat. Here's a recipe I tweeted over the summer, which got a lot of attention. My followers just loved it, and I got lots and lots of messages from them saying that they had just made Pico de Gallo, and they loved it. It's basically just cutting a tomato into a small dice, and put this into your bowl. So there we have our tomatoes chopped up. We have 2 scallions, so that's 4 tomatoes. And we just want to always use the right knife for the job. And just, again,
sliced the green and white part of fresh spring onions, or what we call scallions. And here we have those. And oh, a salsa isn't a salsa without some jalapenos. These are 3 jalapeno peppers that are seeded, and you can leave the seeds in if you're brave and like really, really hot food, but I take the seeds out. We have 1 garlic clove, finely, finely minced. We have our cilantro, which I will coarsely chop and put in. The juice of half a lime. Oh, and don't forget a little bit of oregano. It's a very nice flavor to add to your salsa, and that can be chopped up with the oregano, with the cilantro. Okay, that's nice. Add that, and the lime. I would probably add either a whole lime or a half a lime, depending on how juicy it is. Oh, this is nice and juicy. And if you don't have one of these tools, rush out and get one. It's a very economical way to get every bit of juice out of a lime or a lemon or an orange. They come in different sizes. And stir this up. And you have a spectacular salsa. This gets better after about an hour, so let it sit at room temperature just to get all those flavors melded together. Really good. And this is a great topping for your tacos, or served with tortilla chips, or as I said, with quesadillas.
Yeah, you know, I really love the combination of flavors that you get with the tomatillas and the chilies. So anything with a salsa verde is good in my book.
Right, so we're using both jalapenos, and you learn, by the way, in the book it's called the backstories of everyone, not everyone, but almost all the recipes. Yeah. Backstories. I mean, where did it come from? Who made it? Why was it made?
What's the history?
It makes this book so valuable as a resource for all of us. So jalapenos, poblanos,
so you get a nice, rich, but not too spicy, and then the
this
tangy
funny little
tomatillas.
thing that people are afraid to buy, by the way, because they don't have a clue.
Well, I mean, what do you
this
do
is.
with that, right?
Yeah, you peel it, and then you make salsa
And then you
verde.
make salsa. They're actually quite sticky, so when you're peeling a lot, you may have to rinse them or wash your hands off, but it's really not a big deal, and then you can roast these. But the first thing that you want to do for these enchiladas is poach some chicken. So we have 2 bone-in, skin-on chicken breasts. You just get a lot more flavor if you do it on the bone, and the skin
So
sort
just
of
poach them
protects
in
it a
water
little.
to cover.
Water, a quarter of an onion, a clove of garlic, and just a little bit of salt.
And I love poached chicken.
So you have to be really careful when you're poaching chicken. You know this, that you want to make sure that it doesn't overcook. So you cover it with cold water, bring it up to a boil, reduce to a simmer, and it should take about 18 minutes or so, but very, very carefully. And then remove it and let it cool, and then you have this beautiful poached chicken that's perfectly cooked. You shred that up. If you want to shred that, basically what we need to do here is just take this 1.5 pounds of tomatillas.
Do you shred with your fingers generally?
I kind of do. I mean, you can use 2 forks, but I find it a little bit awkward, and it's a little more efficient to do it with your hands.
Yeah.
So,
and you can pick out any of the little things you don't want.
You feel the stuff that you don't want. So all of this goes in the oven. 1.5 pounds of tomatillas, poblano, the jalapeno. It's the broiler, actually, for 10 to 12 minutes. Just make sure you rotate it once so
you're
they
kind
cook
of
evenly.
roasting them, getting them a little
charred. So you'll see when we go over there, they're nice and charred.
And I love pulling pork. I love pulling chicken.
Well, I mean, it is kind of satisfying, right? So then into your chicken, you just put a little bit of cilantro, half a cup. We're flavoring things as we go along. I'm going to bring this down here to the other end of the table. And that's just ready for filling. Here we have the already roasted tomatillas and peppers.
Any salt and pepper going here?
No, this is going to get seasoned. There's salt in the cheese, so I don't think you really need to. I mean, you could, of course. There's no saying no to seasoning, in my opinion.
So these go
So
right
these just go right in there. We need to peel them, though.
Oh, yeah. Let me peel off the char.
The chili. Now, if you want them less spicy, you could take the seeds out. Completely depends on your taste. Jalapenos have a tendency to be varying in spice, so you might want to taste them if you're concerned at all.
Sometimes too hot.
Sometimes really, really hot, which is surprising, and sometimes basically no spice at all.
The poblano, you take all those seeds
Yeah,
out.
those are kind of big, so I would take those out. And, you know, I like a lot of spice, but...
But I like rubbing the skin off with paper towel rather than putting them under water.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like... A lot of people rinse their
Well, that rinses all the flavor away, doesn't it?
Well, I think it does, but
That's
many
what you
people...
taught me anyway.
I know. I think I made that up because people are still rinsing everything, rinsing.
Well, you know, it makes it easier. This is much more laborious, but
not that much.
Well, I think people find that it is a little bit laborious for them.
So then you don't have to dirty your sink, Sarah.
I totally agree. You have to wash that. So this gets all blended up. Cup and a half cilantro goes in there with it.
What about the tomatillos?
Yep, those go in too.
All whole like this, or should I take that little core out?
I don't think you have to. I think it's okay because it's getting blended. I have 3/4 of a cup of liquid that I saved from poaching the chicken. That's going in there too. If you wanted it vegetarian.
Juice. Don't you want the juice?
Everything should go in.
Yeah.
And then it gets nice and blended. The great thing about this enchilada is that it's kind of a lightened up version. There's very little cheese in it. There's no sour cream layered in, just a tiny bit on the end.
My favorite.
Well, you know, you can put it on at the end, and we do definitely serve it with a little. What I'm doing here is just making these tortillas a little bit more pliable by heating them in a pan, a few seconds per tortilla. And, you know, when they're cold, they're really stiff, and when they're warm, they're nice and pliable.
And just do this by my
fingers? So a little bit of chicken, a little bit of that cheese, about 2 tablespoons. Oh, wait, you know what I forgot to tell you?
No, what?
Sorry. You're supposed to dip these
in the sauce.
In the sauce.
Salsa. Well, where's the salsa?
It's right here. We're making it. We
didn't
didn't make it yet. All right. My fault. Now it's made.
Okay, we're going to have one without.
One without. That's okay. Here. You know, I'm just too into heating the tortillas.
Okay.
Okay, so you're supposed to dip it in there.
Yes, like this.
And then you do the meat.
Okay.
And the cheese, and you put it in, and then the rest of the salsa goes on top.
Makes
and then what
sense.
happens over here is after you bake it at 375 for about 20 minutes, it gets nice and heated through, and then you can sprinkle a little bit of white onion on the top.
So you can do more than one layer if you want.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do this however you want. You can multiply this. You can, you know, feel free to do whatever you want. This is your sour cream. We're making it a little bit like a crema, which is looser than a traditional American sour cream. So we're thinning it with the sour cream with a little bit of water. If you have access to crema, just go ahead and use that. So here it is, nice and done and delicious, heated through. You could hold this in the refrigerator for a little while, but not too long because it might get a little bit soggy.
No, I don't want any onions on mine.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like raw onion that much either, but it's up to you. You could also put a little more fresh cilantro on here if you want.
I want more salsa. The salt. Oh.
If you were making salsa and you wanted to make it vegetarian and use it as a dip, use water instead of the chicken broth.
This is so easy to make. Take a pineapple. You'll need a half of a ripe pineapple. Twist off the top. I don't know if you know that that's the easiest way to take off a pineapple top. And then cut the pineapple, the top off, and cut the skin off all the way around. And then cut this into nice dice. We have one already diced here. Make sure the pineapple is ripe and sweet, as is the ripe papaya. This is 1 large papaya, also cut up, and we'll mix the pineapple into that. This is real colorful salsa. And 1 mango. And kids love Mexican food. They love anything inspired by Mexico. And this is certainly a delicious combination of ingredients. 1 jalapeno pepper, because most kids like spicy things. And 1 red onion that's also chopped up in a similar dice. And some salt. And make sure that you have some cilantro. It's that wonderful green herb, sort of like parsley, only much more pungent. And it is an essential ingredient for salsas, guacamoles, and a lot of Mexican cooking. Chinese use it too, but it really is tasty. So just chop that up. It doesn't have to be very fine. And the last ingredient that you need is some lime peel, lime zest, and some lime juice. And so we're going to grate first with this great grater, just a little bit of the lime peel. When you're grating, make sure you wash the fruit first. Don't know who's been handling it. And so you want to always give it a wash and a dry before you try to grate it. And then cut it in half and zest the juice. This is a great tool. It's really a handy tool. You put the lime half upside down and just squeeze. It extracts the most juice of any squeezer that I have found to date. And this is what they use on the streets of Mexico when they're making the fresh fruit drinks.
And it really is effective. And that's it. That's your salsa. Stir that up, chill it, and it is ready for the party. And we have bowls of both the tropical fruit salsa here with wonderful crispy wontons that you can make, flour tortilla chips that are just oven dried, French bread slices, which are like little toasts, crostinis. You can have all kinds of tortilla chips. You can also have, this is a, oh, I love this one, a mixed tomato salsa, very spicy, with apple chips and taro chips and pita toasts and whole wheat tortilla chips. So put things like this out, healthy, good, tasty. It'll make a great party. This is so different, and I can't wait to taste it. It has roasted garlic.
This is a roasted garlic one.
Yeah.
Most people think that guacamole is a recipe. I say it's a concept. And I like to create what I call a sort of luxury guacamole bar and allow people to customize each bite of guacamole.
This is the guacamole bar on the
Right.
counter in front of us. So we have guacamole and chips.
Right, and then we've got some
have-
chicharron, the little crispy pork skin, some toasted pumpkin seeds, pickled jalapenos, a little of the Mexican cheese called queso añejo, like Romano. We've got a couple of different salsas over here, and a crab salpicón.
That orange one really interests me.
Yeah, we're going to make that.
They were cutting up oranges all
Yes.
day yesterday,
Yeah.
making a lot of salsa. And over there we have...
Yes, we've got some more of this is actually a mushroom salpicón. That's a crab salpicón down there. These are some nuts that I really like to make. They're just kind of spicy macadamias and some grilled bread. Because a lot of people don't think about anything beyond chips. Why not a piece of grilled bread to pile some guacamole on top of?
Now, Rick, if you don't know Rick is the chef and owner of Chicago's Frontera Grill, Topolobampo, restaurants where they serve some of this country's best Mexican food. He is constantly being celebrated, winning all kinds of amazing honors.
Well, thank you.
And you're opening another restaurant. Where?
We did. It's right next door to Frontera Grill in Topolobampo. It's called Xoco, and it just celebrates the
Xoco.
street.
Now, if you want to know how to spell Xoco, it's Xoco.
I didn't make it easy for people.
I know,
I don't
you
think
did it.
so.
And how does information give you the number?
I don't know. Actually, we don't have a phone number. You just have to
spell
come.
it. You should spell it phonetically. Also,
I
you don't have
think
a phone
maybe we
number?
should. No, because it's a little.
They don't have a phone
it's a little. It's a little street food place. So you got to come and enjoy the tortas from the wood burning oven, and we do these meal in a bowl soups. It's really street food.
But packed all the time.
It is packed.
I mean,
all the
it's
time.
so much fun to go to any of Rick's restaurants. So let's make this guacamole.
Okay. So this is roasted garlic guacamole. It's the simplest but interesting flavored guacamole that you can customize with all these different flavors.
How long do you roast the garlic?
This
just
is,
like that in the
yes,
pan?
just like this, dry pan, in the peel still, about 15 minutes
So
turning.
much faster than putting it in the oven.
It is much faster.
Oh, yeah.
And when they're completely soft, you just peel them up like this, and you'll see that there's going to be little dark spots.
I actually have not roasted my garlic like this before.
This is my favorite way to do it. And then chop it up because this is, well, actually, it's so small, so soft you could actually kind of mash it up if you wanted to.
Oh, and it
we've
smells
got,
really
doesn't
good.
it? Well, you know,
Yeah.
you lose all of that sort of harshness of garlic, and this will add sweetness and beautiful stuff. Now, I'm going to scoop this in with some that we've already got here.
Right, okay.
And then put that in with these avocados.
Oh, so
now,
that's the difference. See, I
Yes.
never have put garlic into my guacamole.
Well, because it can overwhelm it unless you roast that garlic. That to me is the most important thing. Now, avocados to use for guacamole should be completely ripe. You always press on the bulbous end, the big end, and if it gives, then it's ready.
Okay.
Make sure you take this little nub out where it connected to the skin, the stem, and then run the knife around the pit. Twist the two sides apart like that. I always do this by dislodging the pit with my knife.
Did you all notice that?
Some people
don't go
think
too
that-
fast. Some people don't know about that.
They
Rick.
don't, but I find it the really easiest way to do it. These are Hass avocados, so they have a really tough skin. You can scrape that flesh directly out
favorite.
from it, like that. And then we're going to add a few other little things.
How many avocados do you use at the restaurant on a daily basis?
Well, a week we use 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds of avocados every week.
Oh, boy.
It's quite a lot, quite a lot.
Yeah.
Some roughly chopped cilantro is going to go in there. I like to season this with a little bit of lime juice because
Fresh
avocados just need something to bring out the flavor. We've got a little coarse salt that's going to go in there, and then it just gets mashed. And I do not like to use any kind of electrical appliance for doing guacamole because I think it turns it into the texture of baby food.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
I just use an old-fashioned potato
Many restaurants
masher.
are doing it in the molcajete. you know.
Yes,
and I like
they do.
that. I think that's nice that they're
Because
doing
it'll
it with
give you a really nice texture.
We have a little restaurant that you would love. I'm going
Yes.
to take you there sometime up in Mount Kisco called Azteca.
Oh, cool.
And they make the guacamole at the table.
Do they?
Yeah, and they use onion
They use onion.
and a lot of jalapeno.
Now, see, we're making what I consider the base guacamole here because you've got all these different things that you can put on top of it to customize it. So that's really all there is.
That's it, and I like it. I like it lumpy.
Yes, I do too. I want it to have a lot of texture because the wonderful thing about avocado is getting that texture in your mouth.
So now,
Now we're going to go on to a couple of these different topics.
Salsas.
This topping is what I call a crab salpicon.
This is for me, right?
That's absolutely. That's just all your portion.
I actually could eat the whole bowl. How many avocados? 4?
No, actually
6?
that was 6.
Okay, I could eat the whole bowl.
This is something that you put it out for a party, so you want a lot of guacamole so people can enjoy it.
That is so delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, I do.
Basic roasted garlic, avocados, perfect match. Now we're going to move on here to the this topping, which is a crab salpicon. Very simple,
crab.
Very simple to make.
Is that for me?
Yes, this is for your. This is your portion of it here to go along with your 6 avocados that we've got.
I got
going.
my microphone.
And we've got this simple crab here that I'm going to add to some. This is jicama. To add a crunch to it, a little bit of chopped scallions, some lime juice, some cilantro, and a seasoning of salt. If you could help me with that.
Sure.
I'm going to go on over here to the one that is made with roasted tomatillos.
My favorite.
A simple way to roast tomatillos is to do it in a skillet, a dry skillet, preferably one that's a nonstick.
I like that. So do you have like great big grills that you're doing this on?
We do, absolutely we do.
That. Right.
Yes, we have a lot of big space that we can roast things on. So these were in the pan for about 4 minutes, flipped them over, and when they're soft and they're losing that bright green, nope, that's for a topping. That's for a little extra little thing. Just those things that you've got in there right now, plus lime juice and salt.
Oh, okay.
And these I'm going to scrape, once they're completely soft, I'm going to scrape them into the food processor. And
this is so beautiful.
Blend this. Very simple, kind of tossed together thing that makes a luxurious sense of the guacamole bar.
Okay, that's the crab. So easy. Isn't that great? Oh. Now, where in Mexico do you get crab?
Oh, all
everywhere.
Up and down, everywhere, but mostly in the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
Lots and lots of, it's mostly blue crab that they have. Lots of beautiful soups that are made with that. So I'm going to scrape these guys into this
tomatillos
mixture.
I grow tomatillos in my garden.
They're
so good.
They're so good. And one of the things that I really like about tomatillos is that you can if you grow them yourself, is that you can let them ripen to a little bit lighter yellow color, and it changes their flavor. Now, the next thing that we're going to add to the roasted tomatillo salsa here is a little bit of orange. I'm going to cut out a couple of the segments between there, and if you wouldn't mind cutting those in half.
I love doing this.
I'm going to add some red onion. Now, this trick about red onion or any kind of onion that you're putting into a salsa, I always suggest that you rinse it with cold water because it'll take some of the bite out of it.
You know what? You told me to do that in the past, and I do it all the time now, and it really does change the flavor of the onion.
It does.
It takes that acid out of it.
It does, and it makes it so much more palatable and fresher tasting. Now, here's the special little taste in this, and that is chipotle chili. So it's the smoked-dried jalapeno that has been reconstituted in a vinegary tomato sauce, and you buy it in a can.
Right. I know, you told me that too.
And
I always buy that. These are things that you remember from a master like Rick.
I am glad that I've had some effect on
you have. You have. I love it.
If you could pass me the salt from over there, I'm going to give this a little salt.
How about a beer?
I think we should do that.
Okay. I'm going to get the beer.
I don't know if it's the right time of day for beer, but it's Cinco de Mayo. Why not?
Beverage center like this in the audience. You do? Oh, good. Because I have this. I think it's one of the best things. And this one's, this is the GE monogram. What do you want? Do you want to, there's only Dos Equis.
I think that'll do, though.
Where's the Corona?
Well, Mexico's got a lot of different variety in beers.
Dos Equis is made in that fabulous town where I used to go to a spa. Do you know where that is? Yeah, Tecate.
Right.
That's
the name of another beer.
Yeah.
And Mexican beers, they range from the light, crisp Tecate or the Corona, the malty Dos Equis, the really very robust Bohemia. So there's lots of different things.
Do you like your beer really cold?
I do.
Because that can adjust, that little refrigerator. You can adjust the temperature.
The control is very easy, and it's great for storing Mexican beer, soda,
Right.
if you serve soda, or cold waters, all those things. It's really great. Okay.
Okay, so we've got our toppings
And those,
now.
did you make those?
I didn't make them, but I wish I had, because
my
aren't
gosh.
they beautiful? They're
Look at
really
this.
beautiful.
And chicharrones. They're so gigantic.
I'm going to scoop a little bit of this onto your plate
Okay.
here. And then we've got our little salads that we've made here that
Isn't
we
this
can...
fun? I love this new toasted coconut and sea salt Triscuit cracker developed by you-know-who. And Lucinda's been working on toppings for this cracker.
I have.
Now, if you don't have the cracker, this one you could use in the original Triscuit cracker.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so you're making something with a very fragrant pineapple.
Pineapple salsa,
Oh, good.
inspired by a pina colada. So I have some red onion, some pineapple, and just a little bit of jalapeno.
Fresh jalapeno pepper.
Fresh jalapeno, and I took the seeds out so that it's not too spicy. And it's so pretty, too, because of the colors. And that's
so.
it. Couldn't be easier.
It is so colorful. Make me one.
I'm gonna make you
I
one right
need
now.
One
Let's
of
mix
these.
one up, okay.
And that holds together nicely. The juices kind of run from the pineapple.
It does, and then it soaks in there a little bit with the coconut and the salt. There's a little bit of something for everyone on this particular
Yeah,
cracker.
that is beautiful. And what a great summertime entertaining idea this is. I call this pino skit.
Panonio Quino skit.
What do you like on your skit? Have one of these with your pina colada. You'll enjoy it a lot. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Squash blossoms. Are these from your farm?
They are indeed.
Oh my gosh, you grow them in a hoop house?
We do, exactly.
have
We
to.
really get them going.
Yeah,
we have to in Colorado. We don't get enough sunshine.
These are so perfect, and they're
Yeah.
just the right size.
Yeah, they're perfect.
Not too big.
Yeah, I
And-
love squash blossoms this time of the year. They're wonderful for entertaining purposes. Whenever we have people out to the farm, we always use that as our one canopy. We walk around with tempura fried squash blossoms, and that's what we're going to do today for
Oh,
you.
good. Well, I love this. So-
Yes.
Okay, so you use half a cup of regular flour.
Regular flour, all-purpose flour, and a half cup of
Oh.
cake flour. Now, you can use all-purpose if you'd like, but we really like the cake flour. It keeps things a little bit light. A little bit of baking powder, and I use just about half a teaspoon of salt into that.
Okay.
We're going to put in some Pellegrino. Now, about a half a cup goes in, and you'll need maybe a touch more just to loosen it up if necessary.
And no egg.
No egg. I don't use any egg in the tempura.
Okay.
I really like to keep it on the light side of things.
But see, that sparkling Pellegrino really helps. doesn't
Exactly. It
Keeps
really
that
does.
Really,
It keeps it light.
Yep.
Yeah, it keeps it very light.
you know
a
what I
little
had
CO2 in here.
recently that this reminds me of? I had tempura ramps.
Oh, yes, terrific.
Have you ever tried that?
Absolutely, I have.
In
and they're
tempura?
awesome.
Oh,
And
my
great
gosh.
in the greens.
I have never had that.
So we've loosened that up a little bit. We're going to let that sit. We're going to keep that refrigerated. The colder it is,
Oh,
the
okay.
better it is, because it's going to help when we put it into the
Oh,
hot
okay.
oil
Okay.
to puff up.
Good.
Now we're going to make a little sauce for it. This is Salsa Verde. It's one of my favorite things to make with squash blossoms, but I use it all the time. I keep it in the refrigerator all the time.
So one anchovy.
Yeah, we've got about 2 tablespoons here of Dijon mustard.
Okay.
The Dijon helps to keep things together, emulsification, nice
Red hot
pinch
pepper
of
flakes.
red
That's
pepper
2
flakes.
pinches.
Yes, exactly, 2 pinches. We've got to put in a pinch of salt. We put in a pinch of black pepper, and then we've got our herbs. Now, I like to use herbs that I've got in my backyard. I think that you can make salsa verde out of just about anything, but a little parsley,
Mint.
a little bit of mint,
And
some
baby
fresh
basil.
Yes, this came from the farm as well. Trimmed all this on Sunday.
So who does all the picking at the farm?
Well, we have a series of managers that are out there. Laura and James are our 2 managers that
Because,
really
you know,
are in charge
I
of
had
all this
dinner
stuff.
on Saturday night at my house, and I have a farm, and I grow a lot of stuff in
course
the
you do.
greenhouse and in a cold frame and
Yeah.
in the garden.
Yeah.
It took me about, I don't know, 3.5 hours to do all the vegetables, picking, washing, trimming,
Oh, it takes
getting
a
them
long,
ready.
long time.
So
Now,
it does take a long time, and
It
you have
does.
to appreciate that when you go to the market, what you're getting.
Right.
I mean, these farmers really work hard to get you those gorgeous ingredients. So how
absolutely.
much olive oil?
So that was a half a cup of olive oil.
Okay.
We're going to put that together, and we're going to blend that for just enough time to bring it all together.
Okay, I'll do
You
that.
can keep it a little chunkier, you can keep it a little looser.
Okay.
Now, the next thing is the squash blossoms themselves. What you want to do is open them up. If they have a large stamen in the center of it, you can pull that out. This one looks really good. We're going to keep a piece of anchovy right in the bottom there. And then this is a little mozzarella di bufala. Now, this is buffalo milk
so you're
mozzarella.
just pinching it?
Yeah, just pinch a piece off.
Oh, I
Come on,
love
keep
that.
that rustic.
So beautiful.
Absolutely.
So an anchovy just out of the can?
Out of the can, this is some special salted anchovies that have been cured in olive oil as
But
well.
you like the Ortiz brand?
The Ortiz is my personal favorite.
okay.
They come from the Cantabrian coast, and they're really terrific
I like those
stuff.
too. Those are great.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and heat the oil to 350 degrees. This is an important step. I use extra virgin olive oil when I'm going to fry this kind of things, and as long as you don't overheat
That
it.
salsa verde is really good.
Good. That's a good start, huh?
It is very good. It's those anchovies.
It's the anchovies. They really
and
make a
if
huge
you don't
difference.
like anchovies, try this because it really is tasty.
It really is tasty.
Yeah.
Now I've thinned out the tempura batter, nicely
Did you make
chilled
more
here.
than? Oh, you didn't make more than one.
Well, I
there's some.
can make some for you if you'd like to
No,
make
I
more.
wanna
We
try
can stay
this.
after the show and keep making them
So
together.
olive oil. Olive oil.
Yeah, extra virgin olive oil, exactly. I like my tempura to be on the thinner side because it makes a little bit crispier.
And temperature
batter.
of water?
350 degrees. Now, 350 is a challenging one if you don't have a fry thermometer at home, but it's not something that's really much of a problem. If you just put in a couple drops of the tempura batter,
Oh, this is
it
off.
should. It is. Yep. We warmed it
Oh.
up, got it to just the right temperature, and then we just turned it off to keep the oil perfect. Now, one of the nice things you can do as well with tempura is you can pre-fry tempura and then re-drop them into the oil.
Oh, for hors d'oeuvres.
Absolutely, for hors d'oeuvres, they work terrific. So we're just going to put those in. We've got our salsa verde here.
I love tempura.
Yeah, who doesn't, right? The crispy crunchiness of the vegetable together with a nice gooey center, anchovies, mozzarella. Come on, this is like one of the great things you can have in life.
Yes, I agree.
Perfect. Now, these are getting a little crispy. Just 10 seconds back in the 350-degree oil.
That's a very
and
good. That's
yeah,
a
they
good
crisp
thing
up
to know.
really nicely.
Yeah.
Put a pinch of salt on them when they come out. Now, these are hot. You got to be careful. Whoop. Oh, and I can just see the anchovy just kind of melting out.
So beautiful.
Wow, in unison, the
And
audience.
look, this one's freshly done. It only takes a couple of minutes.
Et voila. Yeah, we'll just add that to
If
the
the
plate.
temperature
It's
is the
even
right
better.
temperature, right?
It's perfect. It's
Oh,
absolutely
I
perfect.
love doing this.
Yes.
I'll stay here and be the tempura chef.
I love that.
And,
We could stay here
These are
all day.
really, really beautiful, crispy and flavorful.
Absolutely.
This is the last one?
Absolutely.
Oh
Careful,
my
it's
gosh.
gonna be hot.
It is going to be hot. I will wait for a minute. Ryan, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And thanks for coming.
Thank you
and
so
again,
much.
the story is beautiful.
Thank you.